You're right. Hello to producers masterclass number 4 for Movember. Movember, link below, so please donate generously. This is all for Movember, and obviously it's not serious at all, is it? But it's not serious. Anyway, obviously I'm taking the piss. But there is a serious aspect to it, in that I've had a couple of chats with folks today on the old Facebook, and there's one. Sorry, forgot who people are now, but yeah, there's one fella. I think he does quite well as a producer. Anyway, he was saying, he's bored with whatever waveforms are in his synth. Wants to explore other things, etc. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But I'm going some way with this, with just like one cowbell sample, and showing you can make, virtually everything. You really can. That kit's not the limiting factor, it never was. I mean, we used to be making stuff with like an Akai S900 with 1 megabyte. That's 1 megabyte. You guys will use more than that on one kick sample. 1 megabyte of memory, entire track. And yeah, I know production standards have gone on and all the rest of it, but I think I see it when I teach people now as well. I'll give them all the tools, and we go into how to, make things from scratch, synthesize things, and it's always yeah. No, you've given me that. Just give me a load of synths and sample packs, and we'll just throw a load of preset shit together and call it music or art or something. It's not. It's painting by numbers. And I've failed as a teacher by doing that, because you've not learned anything, have you? Just had a conversation with somebody who says, likes to see how I work. I don't work like this. I'm just taking the piss. But what I am doing, I did it even more in the last one, was I didn't explain anything that was doing. The only way anyone can learn any of this, there's no point. Yeah, it's all right going and looking at tutorials, and they're all right starting points, but you can't learn any of this by watching somebody or having somebody tell you how to do it. So don't go to fucking music college, waste the bloody time. I used to teach in one myself. There's a means of income for folks like me. If you've got to go to college to learn how to create art, you can't learn it in that way. You've got to learn it by doing it. No one is going to be able to teach you what goes on between here and here. You can't teach it. And there are other things, it's debatable, all of this, but talent, can't teach it. If somebody's got some talent, you can nurture it, but if someone is bloody tone deaf, all the skill and ability in the world, they're still not going to get anywhere. Had somebody in a while back who'd been doing it for like 20 years and they're still fucking useless. They've got all the enthusiasm, all the drive, really want to do it, but I'm not saying give up, because you never give up, especially if it's something you love doing. But you have to realise that all of us have to perhaps realise that we're not going to be the next, I don't know, Michael Jackson or something, and you've got to work within your own boundaries. So if your own boundaries is just doing it purely for fun and your own enjoyment, that's great, but don't go and inflict it on everybody else. Alright, today, said I was going to I might do this in 2 parts, because I've got to go and do train legs in a bit. The hi-hat from Cowbell, and claps or snares, depends how it turns out. Did have a crap load of other stuff on there, and I've actually accidentally deleted it all and saved it, so it's all gone. But we're going to do hi-hat for a start. So as this is the how to cowbell tutorial, don't need all the kit. You don't. Just start playing with it. Just play with what you've got. Learn how to create. Kick from cowbell. Done that. Let's learn how to recreate. Hi-hat from cowbell, right? I did do one, and I've not deleted it, and I probably will refer to this because it did take quite a while, and it's this one. I'll just play it with the cowbell bass and cowbell kick that we'd already got. Now, the one I'm going to do very quickly perhaps won't sound like that because it did take a fair amount of time, but it's fairly passable hi-hat. Can't do it that way because I'll cut my voice off. That way. Hi-hat from Cowbell. So all of this is all sample-based stuff, so I'm just going to drop in a MIDI track. And again, it's just a simpler again. I mean, you know, if you can't even manipulate samples down to, you know, a simple level of like the simplest sampler you can get and one sample, you know, if all you're doing is buying a sample pack and just like, oh, there's a sample, drop it in, that's it. What are you creating? You're not fucking creating anything. You get playing with sound, and it will mean taking a lot more time than spending, you know, 3 fucking hours making a track. Try doing 3 weeks on it, and then you might create something. Just saying. Right, simpler. Instruments, simpler. Oh, they said on the internet, he had a rant. Cowbell. Lost the voice there for a moment. Did you catch the bit about said, oh, they said on the internet, he had a rant. Bloody hell, fire. Cowbell. Stop that one. Just keep playing this too, because, you know, to fuel the addiction, but it's to prove that everything is actually cowbell. So stick it in the simpler. Hi-hats. Hi. So I'll just stick in a part on a high note. I assume I did this last time, I can't remember. I don't know, stick it up on C5, something like that, and just stick in some 16th notes for a start, see where it gets us. Like that. Now if I play that on the at the minute, it's just going to sound like mega cowbell. Okay, so we've got to develop it from that. And it's got a bit of a plink on it at the minute that we probably don't want in there. Might want to come a bit lower than that. It's a bit plinky at the minute, so I'm going to take the attack off it. Okay, it's getting a bit more hi-hatty already. You want some attack on it. If you think, go back to the fundamentals of sound. The hi-hat's a drum, isn't it? No, it's not. They say it's a cymbal. Piece of metal guy hitting it with a stick. When it first hits, you got a clank on the attack. So you've got to think about the attack characteristic of the sound. It's metal. Cowbell's quite good for doing a metal sound. It's metal as well, isn't it? Some prat hitting a piece of metal with a piece of stick. The drummer is a talented musician. What do you mean? You could get away with using that. That could make a passable hat, but we're going to do a bit more with it. I think I'll probably get a bit of shimmer into the sound. Put an LFO on it on pitch. Pitch. Speed it up. I'm going to go random, I think. Good as a effect, no good as a hi-hat. And it wants kind of fattening up and making a bit more shimmery, doesn't it? So I'm going to get a bit fancy now with a bit crusher and all the bits and bobs. So we go to audio effects and bit crusher, redux. Well, this is where you get a bit fancy. It's a bit of a cheat this, but I'm going to stick a vocoder on there as well. Nice one. EQ. Take all the low out. You don't want extreme highs in the hi-hats. Maybe a boost around 12k, something like that. 12k. Not too bad that as a straight hat. Play with the pattern a bit. Put a bit of swing on it. That's a lot of swing on it. And then if you want to get more variety of variations in that, just change that bit. It's a bit low, isn't it? You can play things like with velocity on the filtering and things like that. Think of a real drummer playing, yeah? More emphasis on the one. And maybe a bit on filter. Could go band pass or iPass or whatever really. It's getting more of a shaker than a hat this time, isn't it? But it's hit and miss, always is. It's not bad, I could mix this with the hat we've already got and use it as a shaker actually. Just put the kick in. So really, I didn't make as a hat there, I made as more of a shaker. The one I made prior, just to show you exactly what's on the chain on that, it's pretty similar. A Cowbell hat. Similar idea, Told you I couldn't remember what I'd done. I overdrove that one as well. And rather than just doing a single hit on the sample, it was looped on that occasion. Some LFO on it, just the same, and pitch envelope. So that's kind of the difference, where this time I've used more of a static sample prior to that. If we take the processing off, some of the MIDI programming was quite important on it as well. Go to Cowbell hat. You can hear that it's a bent sample of that with the pitch envelope on it, as well as a bit of LFO wobbling it up and down. But also what's quite important as well is open hat is such as a played on a different note, look. And these are down here. And then you've got all of this going on, which is what's really giving you the emphasis on certain beats and not on others. Like that. So, don't just stick notes in flat and all the same velocity, for Christ's sake. If these are all on the same velocity, this is what will happen with this. So let's drag them all to the top. So all the feeling's gone out of that. Just flat. You'll hear it even more when picks are in. So it's grooving now. We're in like that, flat. Just machine gun now. It's all got a bit serious, hasn't it? I'll have to make amends in the second half when I do clap. Get a dose of the fucking clap, I know that.